think everybody's working really hard. The enthusiasm's there. You think it would fall off a little bit. I think we've learned a lot because we've been together, obviously, some of the summer, with the Philippines, and then playing at the courts. So we've been, even though we've had, failure throughout the summer, I think our kids are a lot more open to getting better. And so they understand, what's ahead in front of them, the tasks that they got set before them, that God's placed there. And I just think that we're seeing, kids getting given every day. They come out, work hard. We've had a lot of morning practices, obviously, but they've actually, been very alert in the mornings. And just been doing a very good job in the weight room, working hard, getting strong, leading. Our captains has been leading the younger ones well. So I think as far as, what it's been like for us as a coach, is in that sense it's been good. It's been different because, we've never had to deal with so many girls at one time. So I think that's a huge task right now. Practices has been interesting, trying to create and not keep you from standing a lot, and so I think that's been the challenge. When I say a challenge, that's been the biggest challenge, because you're trying to get people involved, a lot more involved, and then you're trying to get the reps for your players, and still trying to teach the young ones so they come along. With confidence and getting better. Well, I think our kids, basketball-wise, we've learned. We, had the opportunity to play against the national team, obviously, in a goodwill game, and then we got to play against one of their, universities there. So I thought that was really big, and then to be able to see the young ladies sharing and praying together as a group. I thought that was those experiences you never can replace. Basketball-wise, being able to put clinics on and seeing how hard the kids and how attentive they were, and it was hot gyms, no air condition, and the kids really stuck with it. I could just remember we went for 3 hours, and it could have been anywhere 98. It was muggy and hot. Gym, it was covered, it was open, and so we had at least 9 to 10 stations going at one time. So they were rotating we were running like 8 to 12-minute stations. Okay, and those kids never once stopped. They went around, and they never complained, and they just worked through all those. It was like 10 stations, and our girls were in charge of them, and I walked around, supervised. But just to see the hard work, I think that we learned that what hard work's like, because now they know that, hey, those kids never complain one bit. They don't have what we have, obviously, and some of them. Coming from from out of the jungle farm, because where it was located, was up in the mountains. And so I thought that was really a big experience for us. And also, being able to lead a church service in Manila itself, in one of the small Assembly of God churches that was there. I thought seeing our kids pray with a young lady and being able to lead a young lady to Christ in doing that in that service was huge for us. I mean, just big for our girls. I mean, because this kid's definitely life is different than what they're used to, and so I thought our girls understood, see how well they have it. And they can appreciate what they have, and they're blessed beyond, and I just know that we come out with a different, attitude towards what we've learned over there in the Philippines, and the time and the fun that we had. And it wasn't like you just had to be there. Oh, we're just going. They actually enjoyed what they were doing, and just to see outside of the complex that we were in, the little kids that were outside the gate, they waited for us to come outside the gates, and our girls would hug them. And I think those things were eye-opening things for us. And so the Philippines will always be in this group's, heart and mind. And, you can go back and relate to those things, how God used them in a special way to help them see that, the saying that Christ says, the harvest is ripe, but the labors are few. And so they can see that we need more harvesters. And so I think that they understand that. And I think a couple of them are actually going to go back and get with the missionary, Connie. So, and she actually came here and visited us on our way through while she was getting a 1-year sabbatical. They're getting working on raising money so they can go back. So it was good to see her, and then she got to speak to the girls and everything. Well, definitely Alex Swanson has improved tremendously. She's got with a personal trainer, and so she's on a mission, for herself. She wants this to be the best year ever for her. She's working hard every day. She's out there pushing her teammates. Seeing her work extremely hard at what she's doing right now, it gives me, encourages me. It also encourages our team to see her, not trailing in the sprints, but running. So those are good things for us. And she has a goal set for her, and she talked it over with Coach Don, and they are on that target, working on those things every day to reach the goals that she set for herself. So we're excited about her. I would say that the next one is to see Taylor. She's to see her healthy, and being able to come back and playing well, shooting the ball extremely well. So she gives us that leadership right away at the guard spot. And so we're excited about that. She's like Allie Swanson. She's Taylor Longley is on a mission, and she knows this is it for her. This is her last hurrah. And so she's working hard to not only just in her individual game, but as bring the group as a group together. And she's alert every day, keeping people alert, keeping them focused, on what we're trying to do and accomplish, especially the younger ones, and keeping their focus to where it needs to be, for us to be to compete out there on the court and practice, and not take practice. No, this is another day of practice. No, this is another day. She looks at it to get better, and she wants them to have that same type of mindset. Well, we are fairly young in the NAI Division I because we've not been there long, but we have made rapidly climbed back to where we were when we were in the NAI Division II, obviously. And so when you can place, 4 schools at the national tournament and then 3 of them in the Final Four, lets you know the progress of the teams and what their goals and where they're putting all of their heads, they're putting everything into those programs. And so I think for us, we're going to have to take every day to remind ourselves, and I remind them, I say, every day we step out here, we got to say to ourselves, are we practicing harder than those teams? That's the question you have to ask every day. Okay, are you working harder than those teams? Okay, and if you can't answer that question, or you answer I don't know, well then right there is your problem. You see, So you want to feel that every day you stepping out there, you're working extremely hard or harder or then some to could be able to compete on their level. And so we have to be able to work harder to compete with those teams. Obviously, our conference is night in and night out from top bottom, and is tough. The travel alone is tough, and so we know even with the teams that are coming in, they're going to be good teams there because they were good in the NAI Division II, and obviously it may take them a year to transition back into the NAI Division I, but I still feel they're good programs. They coach well, and so it makes it even harder for us. So, saying this, I believe now the NAI Division I have to recognize us as a powerful conference, not only as it is in football, but now in women's basketball. Men's basketball has always been getting been known, okay, because they got 3 Hall of Fame coaches in there on the men's side. So on our side now, the women's side, to be the first team to crack over to get across that line and win a national championship at the Division I, shows us that the women's programs are steadily, rapidly going higher. And so for us here at Evangel, we have to think on that mindset. We have to be thinking we have to work to get to that level because we're not at that level, but we have to work to be at that level. And so when that happens, when we get to that point, then we can celebrate. But right now, we're nowhere near where those people are right now, and we're trying to work to get to where they are.